Welcome back, everybody. I'm beyond excited to introduce you to this next woman you should know, Alysa Farrell at Go With The Flow Yoga here in Rancho Mirage. Before we get started, I have to say I've just been truly inspired and I cannot wait to share your passion. So tell us a little bit about you, how long you've been in the industry and how long you've been in this space, and then we'll go from there.
See, I've been in the Pilates industry since 2002, and I've just slowly learned through the old school way of being truly apprenticed by the owner of this studio, Go With The Flow, Kay Spillman, and she mentored me, and I learned Pilates. Then I went off and learned with other Ron Fletchers, where I was trained. Kay was also trained with Ron Fletcher. There are other big names of Pilates, which I recommend people only go to specific, because now there are a lot of online certificates that you can go and you just don't have the history or the understanding of what.
Right, and so let's touch on that, because I was just given like the history of Pilates and the idea behind it and where it started, and I'm floored, right? Because you're not just exercising, like you're really considering how your body should sit, stand, move, and everything. So tell us a little bit about that and some ideas behind that.
Well, to put it into modern day times too, we are assaulted with so much coming at us, and we don't have a moment to pause and not be reactive. We're becoming very reactive and stressed. So Pilates is the thinking man's exercise, where you really are meditation in motion. You have to be focused on your many things all at once. And as women, we multitask. So this is okay with us. So we can focus on our breath. We can focus on what our hand's doing. We can focus on the kid in the back seat. We can focus on, so Pilates helps you to really hone that skill of being able to do many things at once. And yet you are always returning to your center.
Yeah.
And what is that for you? It's different for every single person. So your breath, your body is unique to every individual, and a good instructor should be able to put that so that you leave feeling incredibly empowered, stable, centered, and you know what you're going to do with your day or how to inspire other people just because you feel so good.
Right. And I noticed when we were doing our little demonstration back there, like it was like my brain had to focus so hard on 100 different parts of my body. Like I work out, I love my gym so much, Fusion Fitness, shout out right there, with the weightlifting, and I love it because I can turn my brain off a little bit. And I felt like this was very much more like, okay, really focus on what I'm doing.
And your focus, so meditation is focusing on the now.
Yeah.
So this forces you don't have a choice. You have to focus.
You can't be thinking about the appointment you have at 1 o'clock. No. You can't be thinking about what happened yesterday. It is literally, and that's how I felt.
Yeah. And you get a workout, and you improve your posture, and you lean out your muscles, and you learn how to get away from, say, a car's coming at you. How are you going to move quickly?
Interesting.
How are you going to reach the hidden chocolate on the top, the way back of the corner? Like, how are you going to function in your life? So at the same time, I'm a big believer in, if I've got an hour, it had better tick off 5-6 boxes. So I can meditate, I can help myself, I can calm and get centered. And then when I leave, I'm so much more focused, and I've got oxygen to all parts of my body, including my brain, and I can create. Once your brain has the oxygen, you are on. You think better.
Yeah.
You could take a test and ace it. You're capable, and you feel that capability.
Yeah. Well, like you mentioned too, like the breathing, and really breathing the way your body is supposed to is definitely, like I feel so much more awake right now than I did when I walked into the room earlier after doing all that stuff.
I can see it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, yeah.
That's what I love, when people really start to harness and understand movement, breath, and more. Also, I have to say, with the Pilates equipment and Stick Mobility, you learn to take up your space, which a lot of times we're taught to be seen, not heard, or we make ourselves smaller through life experiences. And when you are on the Pilates equipment, using the stick mobility, you have to own your space, and you have to be in it like a warrior.
Right.
And that also is a little disarming, or it's at first, but it's fun to feel how far you can expand.
Yeah. And you say disarming because we are taught to be small and don't be too loud, don't have too much of an opinion, don't. And we talked about it earlier, like we have slowly become this population that just kind of does this a lot.
Yeah.
And on your book, on your phone, whatever it might be, it's so important that people can see that they need the need for their body to do this.
Yeah.
They need it.
And for women, we don't, how do I say this? We aren't used to taking up space and expressing our power.
Yeah.
So we have no idea sometimes to the full extent of what our power is. And sometimes there's power over, there's power under, but what's self-power?
Right.
And what is the power that you need even to get through your day? And what intentions do you have that you want to accomplish? Well, that takes a seat of power within yourself to be able to maintain that and still do everything else and not be distracted on top of it by social media, everything, the news, the traffic going by. Like, how do we hone our mind to stay in our power?
Right. And you've been doing this now for 4 years, long time. What was the moment where you thought, this is right where I need to be? I'm passionate about sharing this with the world because of the life-changing thing that it is. Do you recall that moment when you just knew?
It's funny. It's gone in phases. So at first it was, I wanted out of corporate life, and I wanted to have more ownership of my schedule. I wanted to have a life and not be dictated by my work at that time. So that was an empowering moment, and that I get to help people. And at the same time, I was recovering from an injury. It's one of the reasons why I left my job and my career. And I was healing after that, and I could help people realize that just because they're a certain age or they've hurt themselves, you can still continue on and change.
Right.
You can change. And then as I've continued to grow through my own personal experience, especially with like past childhood traumas and understanding and researching how the brain works, and our brain is our computer, makes our muscles work, how all of this comes in, and why is it important to meditate?
Right.
Because when I first started to meditate, I wanted to get up and run around the fucking room. I could not sit there. Like, how are these people so chill and just sitting here? Like, I can't do this.
Right.
So then I had a hysterectomy, and I thought, okay, perfect. I have to lay in bed for 6 weeks. I'm forced to sit still. I should nail this.
Yeah.
No. But it started me on the process of understanding what it takes to meditate, what that means, why is the breath important. So that's in my brain works. Why, how come, what is this, and then what am I going to have for dinner? And so I had to get that back and focus on the breathing, and that's when I got into the anatomy and the function of actually how you breathe. So they don't teach that in Pilates school or anything.
Right.
But I find that if you are to have ownership and not have this be a codependent relationship, then I'm going to teach you how to breathe because that's very unique to you. And then you will always remember and take this with you because it's yours. It's like putting money in the bank.
Right.
And you have it for yourself. It's not like you're going to just enjoy your workout here and then walk out the door and keep going.
Right.
It's going to keep building, and you're going to be able to use that in your weight training.
Sure.
You're going to be able to use that in a confrontation. You're going to be able to use that driving, work, doesn't matter. It's yours.
Yeah. When breathing, like I think most people, when they just breathe every day, it's like very shallow breaths. It's not even fully, all of the old breath down here doesn't ever actually leave your body.
Okay, so we didn't talk about that, but you just said it. So that was Joseph Pilates was really big. He would say that because we don't breathe and we stress breathe just the first part of your collarbone, But we have, everywhere you have ribs, you have lungs, so that is a massive amount of space. We're breathing about a quarter cup of that. So how do you breathe? And if your brain is so smart, it's going to keep air in there.
Sure.
And it's going to be like a bog.
Yeah.
And stale. And that's how viruses happen. And that's how sickness starts. Well, when you start using your corset, your core, the way you are designed to breathe, because every muscle of your anatomy of your core is a muscle of inhalation or exhalation, then you actually are pumping that air out, getting that stale air out, and you're sore just from breathing.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is bizarre.
Yeah, definitely bizarre. And so what I picked up today sitting here is, I mean, I've seen Pilates before, and I know that it's hard because people tell you that it's hard. And it's so much more than the physical movement, right? And you really aren't getting the full benefit if you're not also considering the breathing or the mental piece or whatnot. It's like Pilates, like it's just the next level.
It is.
Yeah. I found that I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised because again, it's not apparent when you watch it. You can't just see that and know,
It literally looks like you're doing nothing.
Right.
And if you're looking at someone doing Pilates and they look like they're doing nothing and it looks smooth, they are working so hard that they're shaking. I mean, you don't see that, but you see the grace in it rather than all the work. But a ballerina, if you look at a ballerina, every muscle in their body is working, and their breath to move them.
Right.
And that's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you apprenticed under
Kay. I'm the owner of
here.
Yeah.
And there's actually like some lineage around learning from the original just Pilates and passing that down. Tell us a little bit about that.
So nowadays when you go, Pilates has become more of a gym workout kind of, but it's to make money. So the history of it, I feel, has been watered down and sort of bastardized because it's just a way for people to make money because it is popular. But they're missing that essence. And it doesn't matter. You're going to feel good.
Right. It's still going to be a great workout.
It's still going to be. But there's a whole other level, I would say, I don't know, just kind of a secret level of how you should be working. And that is the breath moves you. Your body follows your breath. Your breath is first. And there's a yogic fairy tale of all the senses we're arguing about who's more important, sight, taste, hearing, and all of them said, well, I'm going to leave for a year. And the person still coped. But when breath left, everybody was like, come back.
Interesting.
So the breath is our life force. It's our chi. It's our gift of living. And we are stingy with it. So I've learned how to work the breath into the movement, not only because it's beneficial for all these reasons, but I want you to get the biggest bang for your buck.
Sure.
And make that exercise stick within you as fast as possible so you get results as fast as possible. Now, that's not to be said that learning the breath is very challenging. It's frustrating. It can be difficult because we also we want, like you were saying, we want to check out.
Yeah, right.
We don't want to be focused on what we're doing. So there's a little bit of that. But once you do focus on what you're doing, everything starts to clear up for you. Now, that's been a process where I've, as a teacher, had to learn there are some people that just flat out don't want that. And then there are people who want it but don't know how. And breathing brings up emotions. And it brings up things that maybe I don't want to deal with right now. So there's a whole side there.
Well, that is a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah. So how do we deal with that? And then when you're in a group setting, too, emotions come up. Maybe you'll cry. Maybe you'll laugh. Maybe you're going to get angry. You have a memory of something from a long time. Well, how do I handle that and how do I cope? Well, it's all here for you to deal with because it's not going away. We have to deal with each of those pieces, and that creates us.
Right.
And our emotions are us, especially as women. We know how to express and feel and share. We're the wisdom keepers, and we have to share that knowledge down. I mean, we're the only species besides whales that, I think there's one more, whales, women, and something else, that after we cannot create babies, we still live for 30, 40, 50 years because we are the wisdom keepers. We are designed to pass down information and raise up our children or our communities. We have that skill. Other men don't.
Right.
Other animals don't.
Right.
But I mean, they can make the seed, but you know, we
sure.
are the ones that have to raise that and to cultivate it and curate it. But I've learned, how do we learn how to use the breath and not necessarily get so emotional, or how do I use that as a positive rather than, oh my God, all these feelings are coming at me, what do I do?
Right.
Well, moving, you move that through.
Right.
And then with Pilates and the sticks, I really believe that you're moving, and so you're clearing the energy of your space. So that I have an energetic responsibility to clean up my own being, clean up my own messes, clean up everything. So when I'm moving my arms in these patterns or moving with the sticks, I'm actually cleaning my energetic field. And right now in our world, our energy is our currency. We are no longer in a place of that benchmark of success. The success is the journey of our soul, and how are we going to take care of it? And I feel a huge responsibility that I've been through this deep work, and it is work.
Yeah.
And I didn't back down, and I feel a responsibility to start to share that to the people who really want to go that deep.
Right. Right. So that's why you found yourself here.
Yes. So I still work at a private country club.
Sure.
But I just started teaching a class here Friday mornings at 8:15. It's rather early, but just 1 hour. We have a good group who's really dedicated to learning, and I put everything together, and they're shocked at how hard stuff is, but yet they feel empowered and liberated.
Sure. Well, it is hard. I mean, in just those few minutes, I felt my heart beat going. I felt my body stretching, sweating. And I can imagine, like, after an hour of that, like, just the freeness that you would feel. I can't think of a better word right now. But, I mean, and hard things are worth it. Like, if it's hard and you did it, like, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Hard is good.
Yeah.
If it's easy, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, who cares? Who cares?
Yep. And I always finish with a meditation. So when you're calm, kind of like when you're calm, you are able to download the information that you just put in. So we're changing things. I'm changing your posture. I'm changing the function of how you move your shoulder or how you move your leg in proper form, reversing sitting posture or reversing your job so that you do feel more empowered and you can go lift weights and not hurt yourself or whatever. So when you are calm and you have a parasympathetic nervous system up, which is calm, sympathetic is fast, workout, run, fear, but parasympathetic is rest, digest, then all the information that you just did, it actually sinks in. You actually download it. So then the next time you come to class, you're not starting all over again from zero. You already have an input of the work that you did the last time, and then it just keeps accumulating. So I am one of the few teachers who teach breath.
Yeah. I don't feel like you could do it another way. That's how I feel about that. So who should come try this? Is it for everyone? What does that look like?
Yeah. Anybody who would love a challenge and wants to work. Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Even if they can't do it right for a while, that's a person.
Actually, you just hit it on the head. People are shocked that they can't do it because it looks easy. And then when they get there to do it, they're floored that, why can't I do this? And I think that's a part of our culture right now. When we're kids, we were curious about, oh, I can't do this. Well, how can I do it? Or we had parents that help us. No, we're going to do this or whatever.
You got to finish it till the end.
Finish it to the end, and you'll learn there's something about that process. But now, if somebody can't do something, well, I don't like it. It's too hard. It's not for me.
Right.
Well, everything is a skill, and we have to learn it. So if you're willing to learn a new skill, which these skills help you age better, they help you with your dexterity, they help you with your cognitive thinking, a skill, and then you'll always have it.
Yeah.
Which that is different than just popping into a class. And,
right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So something that, either something that you heard along the way that really spoke to you as far as advice or some sort of mantra or something that you keep with you even to today.
One thing comes when I was first learning. Eileen was my yoga teacher. She's Luscious Lorraine's wife.
Oh, okay.
Eileen Flaherty. Just breathe and speak from your heart. And I always go back to that. Like, always, just breathe. The answer's in the breath. And then any teacher that I would have thereafter, I would have a question or something, and they would say, go back to the breath. And I would be so frustrated. Go back to the breath. What does that mean?
I just came from there.
Yeah, like, what the heck? And so, but it's true. All you need to know is within your own breath. And Einstein said the pause between your breaths is when your soul communicates with you in that stillness. So when you inhale, you reach for the pause at the top of that inhale, and there's a moment where there's nothing. You might hear your own heartbeat. Mm-hmm. That's when you get an opportunity to stop the busyness and hear your soul communicate with you. And then you reach for the pause at the bottom of the exhale, and there's gravity lends itself to the exhale. We're rooted here. And then you get a moment to commune with yourself. And that's just in the span of a breath.
Right.
And then add that to whatever you're doing.
Yeah. And in our day-to-day, it's like everything's just go, 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 go. How fast can you do it? How fast can you get here? How fast will this be finished? Like, you don't stop to breathe. Like, I mean, I told you earlier, I do martial arts, and breathing in martial arts was like a huge deal. And as I was doing that exercise, I'm like, shit, I have not breathed this deep in a long time. And it's so important. Yeah. So important. That was like a gift. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. And it brings, it enlivens your blood cell. It's our chi. It's how we move. But also, it's our power. It's our seat of power. And we don't realize we're leaking power all day long. So how can we seal that up and really come from a place of power? And how can we use our energy as currency?
Yeah. Right.
Really, what do you put out? What are you giving back?
Right.
What are you giving to yourself? And is that a good currency?
Yeah. Interesting.
That's how I look at it.
Somebody was up for the challenge and they wanted to come to your class. How would they find out about doing that?
My phone number. I do have an Instagram, but I don't really participate on social media.
Sure.
But,
what would be the best way? And we'll definitely make sure it's on the video.
Well,
too.
I have a website.
Okay.
And I also have AlysaFarrell.com. And then also my Instagram, AlysaFarrell.com. And my phone number and everything is on there. And that's the best way. Direct message me through Instagram probably, or on my website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything that you'd like to say before we go that we haven't already said? Because it's been a lot of good shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like right now we really need to help each other. No matter what, just especially women, we have a big responsibility to keep us moving on in life and be vital.
Yeah.
And I want to help people feel vital. And when things are so uncertain, how do you calm your nervous system?
Right.
And not react in fight or flight. And still be here and find what matters.
Right. I love that so much.
Good.
I appreciate that.
Oh,
Thank you so much for your time. Oh, yes, of course.
Thank you.
Until next time. That was so wonderful.